Welcome to Press Start to Join, a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ETB. This is episode 221, and I'm Alan.
I'm Josh. Today, I'm uncovering some spoilers that Reddit dug up on the last characters in Smash Bros. Ultimate! I'm really excited.
Get hype. We've got a ton of Apple news in this one, about apps, about security, about lawsuits, all that fun stuff.
I recommend the cheapest recommendation I think we've ever given out.
And I recommend an awesome tattoo shop that Josh and I both got inked at. First up this week, we've got a quick update on that whole Bloomberg Chinese hack story that we've been following so closely. So multiple companies named in the article, including Apple and Supermicro, the makers of the supposedly compromised motherboards, are all calling for a full retraction of the story.
Oh.
Just unequivocal, saying this is false, or retract the story, this is completely groundless, like what are you doing? And then even a whole bunch of journalists have gone on record saying that the article is suspiciously bare bones when it comes to like background information and corroborating evidence. The Wall Street Journal media critic wrote an article talking about how really good journalism you can kind of like reverse engineer. So by reading the article, you can see the steps that they took to track down the story. Bloomberg's article? Nope. It really feels like elaborately written fiction. And even Tim Cook was talking about how when he was being interviewed by Bloomberg for a lot of this stuff and denying it every time they came to him, it would be like with a slightly different story. So it's like they were trying to feel out things, and it's weird and it's dumb, and it's just like either everyone's lying or just Bloomberg is lying, and one of these is much more likely.
Well, I've heard it may be just a miscommunication because one person said they were interviewed for it and they gave speculation. Like, of course, this could be happening, but we don't have the evidence. So then when they found other evidence, they just plugged it into his stuff saying it's true.
Well, I think we actually talked about that an episode or two ago on PS2J, where they were interviewing a tech expert for background information about, like, could this be possible? And then every single piece of his rhetorical scenario was basically then provided by Bloomberg as how it actually went down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if they somehow thought the background information was actual fact, but it's weird. It's all just really weird. Anyway, on to more actual news now. More actual news. Actual, real news. If you're a GasBuddy user on iPhone, make sure you update your app to the latest version as soon as possible. And if you're not aware, GasBuddy's a popular crowdsourced app for tracking gas prices. It's actually pretty handy. You can see just people report prices for chances to win free gas, and then you can chart through the city wherever it's cheapest to buy.
They incentivize people updating the system with those free gift card draws.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, after they released an update on October 19th, it looks like it caused some iPhones to completely lock up, to the point of just showing a black screen with that white loading circle in the middle.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, it's not great. So if you encounter this, the Genius Bar people from Customer Reports, what they were doing is just forcing a restart on the phone, which you can find how to do online because it's different for different iPhones. And then, of course, deleting the app until it gets an update.
Yeah.
But in some cases that was not working, and then you'll need to take it into a Genius Bar and have them do whatever service they can on your phone. GasBuddy has since released an update this week to resolve the problem, which they're saying was caused by documented Apple frameworks having some kind of unexpected consequences. They've actually refused to go into further detail on the cause, referring all other questions to Apple themselves.
Oh.
Yeah. And we got some really good news for iPhone users on the tail of that. That Gray Key hacking device that we've talked about a few times has officially been defeated for now. So before iOS 12 came out, the Gray Key device could be used to brute force a phone's passcode and then copy all the data off for later review. Now, a report from Forbes has multiple anonymous sources saying that the Grey Key is completely unable to get the passcode of any devices running iOS 12 or later. So this makes it so the data on the phone stays completely encrypted and uncopyable, giving the Grey Key access to only things like metadata and folder structure. So they can see like what folders are inside other folders and how big files are, and that's about it. It will be interesting to see, though, what comes next in the whole security arms race. But it is nice to see companies keeping an eye out for our privacy.
Yeah, and it was versioned out so quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Apple's definitely good at that, if nothing else, is they're on their toes with that security stuff.
And like you keep saying, they're good at keeping all their devices up to date as much as they can, too.
Oh, yeah. There was some numbers. Some 53% of all active iOS devices are on iOS 12, like currently. That's not even just the ones that could be, that's all the devices that are active right now.
That's great. Yeah,
I think all the way back to the iPhone 5S is compatible with the latest iOS. So that's just ridiculous. That's years and years of support. And then I think I saw similar statistics for Android, and the absolute latest Android OS wasn't even on their chart because it was less than 0.1%.
Yeah. That's the difference between a controlled product and, we don't want Apple to run the market. And they just threw it out to anyone who would take it. Here's an OS, it's free. And then how many years later, and then they're like, we should try to rein this in.
Yeah, it's definitely the tight integration of hardware and software versus pretty much anybody can make an Android device, and it's up to them what versions of the OS they support. So you can actually like go to a store and buy an Android phone right now that does not support the latest OS, which is kind of crazy balls. But it goes back to that whole thing that I think we've talked about it more than a few times. Android can do anything. Apple can do the things it does well.
Yep.
So it's limitations, but polish. It's the trade-off. Continuing on with... Wow, I have a lot of Apple news on this, I just realized. Apple's still feeling the aftershocks from throttling performance on devices with worn-out batteries.
Like the 5S.
This mainly was the iPhone 6, I believe, was the biggest affected one. The 6 and the 6S.
I was just thinking of their oldest phone that you said was supporting 12.
Yeah. Although, if you do have an older device and you've been holding off going to iOS 12 basically brings the devices back up to how they were running on 10. Because a lot of older devices were having some issues on 11.
Oh.
So they're like big speed improvements, and they've still got the cheap battery replacements, which could also help your performance. So there's a lot of ways to get your iPhone 6 running better than ever. But coming out of that whole performance throttling thing, Italy's antitrust authority is now fining them 10 million euros. That's about $11.5 million US. They've called the move, quote, planned obsolescence of Apple's phones. They've also decided on a similar thing that because Samsung provided updates to their phones that caused large performance issues, they're also guilty of that and hit them with a 5 million euro fine.
Good.
Because I guess, I don't know this firsthand, but I guess there's some Samsung phones that got updates that probably shouldn't have because they didn't have the hardware to run all the new Android features. And they're just having a lot of problems with that. The reason Apple was fined twice what Samsung was is because apparently they failed to give clear info on how to maintain and replace the batteries. Which is... I don't know. Kind of an odd distinction to be like, hey, batteries get old and Apple made sure your devices didn't crash. That costs double Samsung pushing updates to devices that shouldn't have got them.
Yeah, especially when Samsung eventually adopted the can't open your phone policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just not then.
Yeah, I guess so. The Italian authority accused both companies of causing serious malfunctions and significantly reduced performance, thus accelerating the phone's replacements. But, I mean, it's tricky to say if Italy's in the right on this one. Because, like, things get old and worn out. And if they can't fully support new software, that doesn't mean there's planned obsolescence going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fact that Apple was behind the scenes throttling performance to improve stability for, I think, over a year before they were called out on it, it's something that they should have communicated at the time.
Well, just lucky for them, they had some sort of reason, so it's not like double what it is now, instead of just throttling for no reason.
I cannot see Apple just doing throttling for no reason, but corporations, you gotta keep an eye on them.
Yep.
Ticketmaster has actually been hit with a class action lawsuit this month.
Yeah, they deserve it. As last episode, I am very against these practices.
Oh yeah, no kidding. So undercover reporters from CBC and the Toronto Star learned from a Ticketmaster rep when they attended a live event planning convention that the company not only ignores scalpers that use bots and fake identities, but they also make it easy to quickly flip those tickets for resale.
Yeah.
There's special software called Trade Desk for, quote, professional reseller partners.
Ugh.
And the worst part here is that this exact mass reselling is prohibited by their own policies.
Yeah.
So they're just turning a blind eye to it. Because
yep. Okay.
tickets are being purchased on Ticketmaster and then resold on Ticketmaster regulated platforms. So they're getting their cut coming and going.
Oh, they're the worst.
They're selling someone a ticket and then getting a cut of the massively inflated price that they're reselling it for. Like when you think ticket scalping, you think like people outside a live venue like yelling that they have tickets for sale, not another website that sells them as soon as they get released. It's insane. You may qualify for this class action lawsuit. The proposed class is limited to U.S. citizens who purchase tickets from these professional resellers, and this whole thing has actually apparently caught the notice of at least 2 sitting U.S. senators.
That's it?
So
aren't there like hundreds of them?
There may be governors. I don't know how governors and senators work, but either way, the government. There's people in the government that are paying attention to this, so it's high-ish profile.
But you said
That's
senators?
Something. Yes. Yeah, I don't know how the U.S. government body works.
Oh, apparently there's 100.
Oh, okay, so like 2 for each state. That makes sense.
So 2%, we're worried.
I mean, that's better than the usual 0 for these kind of things.
And then they have a big thing where like, now sit down and tell us, what's the internet?
Oh, God, yeah. When Eisenberg and Dorsey were talking to the government. That was just a huge mess. Jesse Eisenberg of Facebook and Jack Dorsey of Twitter have both been called before governmental hearings a couple times when coming to like hate speech and governmental interfering and private information and all that fun stuff. And that's just been a gong show because you got like 80-year-old people questioning tech moguls on internet security. You
know what? I'm going to coin the phrase. We keep veering off for these really, what I still find, even though we know it all and we're talking about it, I find it really interesting. So these aren't just tangents, they're factgents.
I like it. Buy it, store it.
It's now the title of the episode.
Perf. Got some news for us from Sony as well. They're finally bringing name changes to your PlayStation Network ID with a whole stack of asterisks.
Oh, no.
This is a mess. So for a quick comparison, Xbox Live has had name changes available for years. And everything works fine. Like, it's just you change your name and it's changed everywhere and it's working fine. PlayStation Network, on the other hand, has added this feature to their preview program with a large list of warnings, such as, not all games support changing your name.
What?
You may lose access to content like add-ons or virtual currency.
What?
You might lose progress, save data, leaderboard data, and progress towards trophies. parts of your games and apps may not work properly, online or offline.
Oh my god.
Your old name may still be visible in some areas. So yes, if you give them money to change your PSN name, your old name could just be kind of around somewhere sometimes.
Oh wow.
My favorite part of this. So during the preview program, they're letting you revert back to your original name once, just during the test. But reverting back to your original name will not necessarily restore any old content lost in the first change, and may actually lose additional content.
Wow.
So this is Sony definitely using some small portion of their ass in this whole system. The only thing that I can think of is if for some reason, like instead of having like a numeric system ID to identify users, they were actually using the username.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, which was a dumb move.
Yeah, like you don't use usernames as like the behind the scenes identifier. Use it to link to like a record in a database. Like this is a mess.
Or maybe
but I mean, if
email? I don't know. I don't do that stuff.
Well, no, because you can change your email on your PSN. You couldn't change the name
without using save data or leaderboard information.
I know, we're living in the future. But if you're okay with all that, with all the risks of losing stuff you paid for, progress in games, and the new name not even showing up in some places, then everyone gets one free change for the first one. Later changes cost about $10 or $5 if you have PS Plus.
Wow, Sony, that's some Nintendo type messed up stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, are these caveats just part of the preview program, or is this how it's actually going to work once it's released? Because my god, this is a terrible system.
They're just like, send it to the new guys, and their interns they picked up that were fired off Nintendo Online. Like, we didn't figure this out.
Pretty much. It's like, I can't understand how it's like, oh yeah, you can lose games you paid for, lose progress in other games, parts of your games might not work, the old name might still be around, but yeah, $10 please. Jesus.
Oh, I'll just backpedal.
Yeah.
Might not be worth it.
No, that's the best part. Not only do you not get back what you lost, you could lose more. Like that. What? How? What monkeys have they hired to write this? I read it. I was boggled when I wrote it, and I'm re-boggling myself. That's why I keep pausing.
Fair.
This episode is brought to you by Back to School Again, a podcast about people who made the decision in midlife to return to school. It's hosted by Katrina Ingram, who talks about her experience of going back to school more than 20 years after graduating, and features conversations about a wide range of midlife learners. The podcast is made possible with the support of Norquest College in Edmonton, which recently opened an innovation studio. It's a place where business, industry, and community partners work alongside students and researchers to explore training opportunities and solutions to today's business challenges. And it includes a podcast studio. You can learn more about Norquest at norquest.ca and check out Back to School Again at backtoschoolagain.ca.
Yeah, we have what seems to be the final Smash Bros. Leak, so...
Ooh, fancy.
If you don't like spoilers, I'll insert a timestamp later so you know when to skip to. To skip our spoilery talk, jump to 31 minutes and 14 seconds.
3, 2, 1...
So there was a seemingly reliable leak for Smash Bros, which I guess is a great thing, because I was dying to find out what was coming out next.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the top, the leaked characters are Shadow, Banjo-Kazooie, Ken from Street Fighter, Isaac from Golden Sun, Mach Rider, Geno, and Chorus Kids.
Well, some of those could easily be the Echo Fighters.
Yes. Shadow and Ken, obviously going to be Echo Fighters. Because once they showed off... Yeah, go ahead.
That actually kind of annoys me because Ken, yes, totally Shadow Fighter. Shadow has his whole other set of moves. You could throw some Chaos Control in there. He could have been a good character on his own, and that annoys me.
If you think about their release when they announced Dark Samus, they still call her an Echo, but she's so dissimilar in other ways. Like, her stance is different, she floats, like, there's a lot different, so I can see how Shadow is. Like, he might have, like, a different ramp-up speed, like, he'll play differently for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, you could have, like, down B counter with Chaos Control. Like, things like that Sonic just straight up doesn't have, because it's all, like, it's Shadow's shtick, you know?
Yes, Sonic's down B is spin dash.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you never see Shadow spin dash. It's beneath him. He has those rocket skates.
It might be rocket skates. It might be like a takeoff with his rocket skates that does damage on takeoff point.
Yeah, okay, that could work.
So the leak is shown off by Reddit user Smash My Ass.
Yeah, excellent.
So to quote his post, Mr. Eric B. is the graphic designer that cites Bandai Namco on his now private LinkedIn, who failed to blur his name in the pic of the video that took an actual graphic printing site. The Instagram text reads, "Fuck Nintendo," and no clean source of an empty "Everyone is here" battlefield exists. So it's the "Everyone is here" image that's been seen before, and like certain spots, like there was the 3 Mii fighters are replaced with Shadow, and you can actually see the Mii fighters distributed somewhere else.
Okay.
So the promotional material seems to be a light up carousel that would be like on the top of a Nintendo booth and rotate.
Oh, cool.
And the photo includes other promotional material that the company could be doing, like the upcoming Grinch animated movie can be seen in the background, promotional material for that.
Weird.
And so there's a whole long thread of people. Oh, when I said the text reads, it's because it's actually a French company.
Okay.
So there's all this denying and like all this disproving, but the LinkedIn really hooks up with stuff, and it like wasn't created last week, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either the most elaborate leak for Smash Bros. Or the real deal.
Dang.
So obviously, Shadow and Ken are Echo Fighters, which are welcome, to be sure. Banjo-Kazooie is a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Just, I guess he could be an Echo Fighter of Duck Hunt Dog.
Ouch. That's rude. Because, so I thought about it. The history of Banjo is interesting. He was created by Rare, the company that came up with Diddy Kong for the Donkey Kong Country games. Mm-hmm. But now Banjo is owned by the Microsoft Entertainment group.
Right.
And thinking, oh, that's crazy to have Nintendo work with Microsoft. They have Bayonetta and Solid Snake, and that still blows my mind. So, of course, Banjo can be in here.
This is true.
So I looked up little profiles on the rest of the characters to get everyone caught up. Isaac is from Golden Sun. He's a Venus adept, and basically in Golden Sun, the different planets align with the Greek gods they had, which align with different elements. So a Venus adept, he can use earth magic.
Fancy.
He's a playable character in Golden Sun, The Lost Age, and the main character in the overall Golden Sun series. Isaac is the silent protagonist and party leader of the original Golden Sun. He gains a speaking role in his appearance late in Golden Sun Lost Age as a co-leader of the game's extended final party. He's the most effective main representative for the whole series. He has a cameo in Smash Bros. Brawl, which isn't... Yeah. I think it might just be an outfit.
Or a statue or something?
I'm not... I was rushing to get notes before the episode, so I wasn't able to find out why. Tell us why on Twitter. Isaac is considered to be the most powerful Earth Adept in the Golden Sun series due to his age when he started training his Psi energy. And, so it seems like we're getting another swordsman, but with more options and blonde hair instead of blue.
Well, and it's a swordsman that isn't on Fire Emblem, so there's a whole schwack of moves that he could bring to the table that we haven't seen before.
And I have no idea what the earth magic looks like, so there's all that too.
Yeah, that is true. Could be like a kind of Robin scenario.
All his B's are earth magic, and all his A's are sword skills.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Mock Rider is one I'm now excited for.
No?
He's the hero from the eponymous video game from 1985.
I don't think I've heard of Mock Rider.
Yeah, it came out the year most classic Nintendo games came out. So if you think about the franchises included in Smash, the same year Mario Brothers came out, Wrecking Crew, Duck Hunt, Ice Climbers, and Gyromite. Gyromite I'm noting because I believe, I'm probably mistaken now that I'm talking about it, but I feel like that's a Rob-powered title.
Oh, that could be why I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've never actually played a game with the Rob. I've never seen a Rob in real life.
I have at like conventions.
Oh, well, yeah, like display things. Not.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Rob played in real life.
Fair.
Honestly, hey, yeah, if anyone listening has played with a Rob for the NES, let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
I'll be jealous from a distance. I got 2 Rob amiibos. I'm good. So, Mock Rider takes place in the year 2112. The planet Earth has been invaded by evil forces driving vehicles known as quad runners. The player controls Mock Rider, who travels from sector to sector on a high-powered superbike, searching for survivors and destroying any enemies in their path. Yeah, he's going to be cool.
It's pure 80s. I love it.
And I'm just like, well, glad they didn't get Excite Bike. This sounds way better.
No kidding.
So I did sort of have a thought Gino was the one from Mario RPG, but it seems like he is. So finally, Mario RPG is getting some love.
Gino. Wait, white and blue striped pants? Or am I thinking of a different thing?
He's like a doll boy.
A doll boy? I don't... Okay, how do you spell it?
Geno. He's like made of wood. He is a warrior from Star Road and one of Mario's party members.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of a completely different dude.
Genos from One Punch Man?
Nope. A completely different dude from Mario RPG.
Okay. So Geno is sent by a higher authority to restore peace to Mario's world. During the events of Super Mario RPG, he teams up with Mario's team, which consists of Mario, Mallow, Princess Toadstool, and Bowser. Helps them on their quest to defeat Smithy. In battle, he has high attack and low defense.
Mallow, that's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
He's a lumpy dude with blue and white pants.
Yeah, that thinks he's a frog until he is shown otherwise.
Yeah.
And then, to get weird, the chorus kids are 3 children who are part of the choir group in Glee Club in Rhythm Heaven.
Okay, so are they dead if they're in Rhythm Heaven?
You'd think so, but they're just white, simply drawn characters with black beady eyes and curved mouths, and their teeth seem to be very sharp. They only wear bow ties, and they're led by the conductor who teaches them how to sing well together.
This sounds like a horror movie.
Well, honestly, when I saw it, it looks like what I thought? It looked like WarioWare did a Diary of a Wimpy Kid crossover. That's a really bad reference for our age.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to picture the description that you said. And yep, okay, I found them on Google. That's definitely...
They're just simply drawn kids with bow ties. And when their mouths are open, all they show is the fangs.
Yep. That's definitely little cute things that'll eat your face when you're not looking.
So whether or not this is a leak, it was really fun to sort of watch Reddit do their forensics and break everything down.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because the images are poor quality because they're an Instagram story, which was a screenshot of a snap on Snapchat.
Jesus, that's a few degrees of separation there.
And yeah, so it made it really hard to blow up and look at everything. But there is no art of the background on its own available anywhere on the internet as far as people have been able to find. So to modify the picture to this degree would be like insane work that would just not be worth it in my opinion. But if not, they did it and they did it well.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if it's that blurry and it's gone through that many things, all you'd have to do is kind of poorly Photoshop the original and then do an Instagram story of a snap of a screenshot. And that blurriness would kind of mask all your sins, you know?
Yeah. When you saw the promotional art when they announced K. Rool, and I think at least when they did the Castlevania characters, they showed the artwork with gaps and then it filled in.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the full art. People are rearranged. Like everyone's rearranged to fit all these extra characters.
Okay, so rearranging everyone would be a pain in the butt. So,
oh yeah,
points towards legitimacy, I think.
Mm-hmm. And welcome to our listeners that skipped it.
And we're back. Enough of that spoiler talk.
So as a quick review, I have a beautifully sculpted, painted Solaire of Astoria amiibo.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of buying one myself. Kind of kicking myself that I didn't.
Well, who knows? EB Games was where I got it from, because I just lost all faith.
Yeah.
And you know what? I might look next time I'm about to buy an amiibo on eBay, but I'm pretty sure Mega Man 11 was gone for sure.
Yeah, probably.
I'm still on the fence about asking for Dark Souls on Switch for a Birthmas gift from the family. It's the second year Wild Hunt has been on it, so maybe this year I'll get it.
Wait, Wild Hunt is on Switch?
No, it's on my Birthmas list.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, Witcher's on Switch and I'm not playing it right now?
Every holiday season, my mom asks for a Birthmas list because me, my dad, and my sister all have birthdays and Christmas November, December.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah being the worse off, having her birthday after Christmas.
Oh, that is the worst.
Yeah. So Wild Hunt has been on it for a while, and I think I said the variety pack of Nintendo Labo.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool Labo stuff.
And I've been seeing them around, so I'm not too worried about missing out.
Yeah, like maybe at some point Nintendo figured out that they can buy a second factory. Who knows?
Don't lie to yourself. So, like we said in the beginning, the Alberta Podcast Network is powered by ATB, and ATB is the kind of bank that really lines up with how we want to bank, Alan.
Oh, yeah?
So, they have an all-new digital bank account, and the best part is there's basically no fees as long as you're doing it digitally. Which
I mean, I do no other kind of banking, so that does really work.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for, so it's even better because we'll earn interest on higher balances.
Nice.
So, more money.
Yeah, and you can always check out atb.com/listen for all the cool things that ATB's doing.
Perfect.
And now it's time for those techie little tidbits. First up, Luke Cage and Iron Fist will both not be returning to Netflix for a third season. This is actually pretty disappointing, about Luke Cage anyway, haven't really watched much Iron Fist, but it could potentially set up a joint Heroes for Hire series, which would end up working kind of exactly how the comics worked way back in the day. Where, the Power Man comics ended at 49, and then on issue 50 it was Power Man and Iron Fist. They were just brought together because Iron Fist wasn't selling. But only time will tell what kind of content we end up with on Disney's new streaming service, as Netflix just kind of seems to be distancing themselves. Because Disney doesn't super need them anymore now that they're getting their own streaming going on. The first chapter of Spider-Man's DLC dropped this week, starring the Black Cat in The Heist. And they've also released some free updates, adding a new Game Plus and a new Ultimate difficulty level.
The Black Cat took me a second to recall her. Since I'm not a Spider-Man fan, I don't have an image of her.
Oh, Black Cat's great. Felicia Hardy. She's always awesome. Actually, and if you're interested at all, Polygon did a really good write-up of why Black Cat is not a Catwoman ripoff.
Okay.
So, might be worth a read. And last news item of the week here, Pokemon Go is actually getting a new Adventure Sync mode in the next few weeks that'll let it interface with Apple Health Kit and Google Fit.
Well, not the direction I was thinking that was going.
Oh?
I thought it was going to just help sync with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
No, this will actually let it sync with your general activity that gets logged by your other devices. So it'll track steps without needing the app open. Yep.
My 27,000 wasted steps on my Fitbit could have hatched an egg.
Exactly. So with this, basically anything that you have on you that's tracking movement and steps into Apple Health or Google Fit, it'll automatically feed that into Pokemon Go. And you'll get special milestones for activities. You can earn candies with your buddy. You can hatch eggs. And it'll actually also send notifications to you when your buddy earns a candy or when an egg is ready to hatch.
Oh.
So this is kind of like the feature that everyone has been waiting for the last 2.5 years on Pokemon Go.
But don't think you can change your name anytime soon because you might lose content or your Pokemon. Or
exactly.
Wait, or do they have that nailed down? Just before we hop into recommendations this week, if you like this episode or anything else we've done, give us a like. Give us a follow wherever you're listening to us because it helps metrics and people can find us better and then we can grow and do more stuff.
Yeah, ratings and reviews always help more than you think. If you want to drop us a line directly, you can also contact us at PS2J Show everywhere. We've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're PS2J at Gmail if you want to send us a line with some hot tips. And PS2JShow.com is arguably one of the better ways to listen, with all the episodes searchable by tags. It's got comment sections, all that fun stuff.
And thank you to the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB, for supporting us. We wouldn't be able to do the things we do without their support. But don't think that's everything we need, because we love our patrons too. Our patrons on Patreon get access to show notes, and we give special polls and heads up to stuff. Other ways to find out more about the podcast is to join our Discord, and the link is found in every episode post on our website.
Yeah, come drop us a line, have a chat. We always let people know when we're gaming if you want to join in on that too. And a huge thank you to Kevin MacLeod. He does all the music that you're hearing on Press Start to Join. He's the soundtrack of the internet. You can check him out over at incomptech.com.
And Alan has given, I guess, worldly recommendations, and I sort of got one too. In the past, Alan has said, go to the library. I believe that's what you said, if I'm not totally crazy.
Well, to be completely honest, I recommended the library and then said I've never actually physically stepped foot in it, but the ebooks are great.
So I'm recommending a little bit of the opposite of what Alan said.
Okay.
The caveat is, if it's safe for you to do this, I recommend doing it as much as possible, because I know I have been lately. I've been loading up my phone full of podcasts or downloading a Spotify playlist and taking a walk around my neighborhood, the place I live.
Not the direction I thought that was going to go.
Not just to be walking for activity. I like to look at the graffiti people have been doing. I like to take note of what's inlaid in the concrete, because I found some crazy stuff in our city. We have this high-level bridge, and on one end is our legislative building. And inlaid in the concrete is these really positive messages, and it's all a project done from a school, and it's you're loved, somebody loves you, we'll miss you if awesome. You go, and stuff, curbing people who may be using the bridge for other purposes than getting across it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've been stopping and reading plaques. That was a recommendation from 99% Invisible, a podcast I really enjoy. One I like to walk around and listen to. But holy crap, I love walking.
Very cool.
Sorry? I was just going to specify that it's less of a walk, and I've been strolling.
Yeah, going for a good wander.
Yeah.
And my recommendation this week is actually something both Josh and I have gone to, kind of. It's the Shades of Grey Tattoo and Collectibles here in Edmonton.
Yeah. Did you go?
No, I haven't gone back yet.
Okay.
But my recommendation specifically is for Jody Heinrichs, who is at The Littlest Dirtbag on Instagram. She's the one who did that awesome Slow Regard of Silent Things tattoo that you guys saw on our Instagram and Twitter after Edmonton Expo. And it's great. I love it. And everyone at that store is amazing. Josh got his awesome General Grievous tattoo there, and it's such a cool place. So I highly recommend if you like geek collectibles, if you like tattoos, it's got something for both things.
Yeah, and my artist is Lazy Joel on Instagram.
Excellent.
I've got a real impulse issue right now because he's doing a sale on Pokemon tattoos if you're getting a dark or ghost type before Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's tempting.
I know, it's so tempting.
Well, I think that'll about do it for this week. So as always, thank you all very much for listening.
And thank you for pressing start. You know what? Thanks to anyone that's listened all this way, and look forward to this Halloween's History of Gaming episode. We're doing Resident Evil. You could say anything if you wanted to, Alan.
Spoopy.